In the search to find your destined spouse, you go through lots of things. Many single ladies have given up because it seems as if they never get to find anybody, and it might get a little frustrating when you continue meeting the wrong people. You begin to ask yourself, how many frogs would you kiss before you meet your prince? How many heartbreaks you have to face before you meet the right man for your life? My dear, I am here to tell you that no matter how long it takes, no matter what happens in your search for the right one thing is certain. If truly you are a child of God and you act according to His will and instructions, then be rest assured that just as Ruth found her Boaz, so shall you find yours. We are familiar with the story of Ruth and her mother-in-law Naomi in the Bible. But as often as we have heard this story, you might not have really gotten to understand the lesson that God is making you see and how it relates to your situation. For every story that is in the Bible, there is a purpose. But because you have failed to take time to study and understand what it is trying to say, remember that there is nothing new under the sun, and for everything happening presently, you just have to search the Bible in order to find where to get all your answers and draw strength to carry you through. The first virtue of Ruth that I want you to look into is her endurance and patience. We got to see that when the sons of Naomi died, she made up her mind to return back to her land where she came from, and so she told her daughters-in-law to return back to their land. One of them left not because she's a bad person, but maybe because after much persuasion from Naomi, she had to go. At this point, let me say this. How many of us have pathways with Christ at the crossway of hardship? Like Oprah, we kiss Christ goodbye and leave Him there. Remember, endurance of hardship is what takes you to a perfect ending. But Ruth stayed even after Naomi insisted that she goes. I want to believe that during that time, it was not easy making her decision to stay back because of all the hardship that she was going through. But because she kept on holding on to Naomi, who was just a poor widow, God decided to bless her. So my question to you is, how patient are you to keep on holding on to the promises of God? How have you proved to God that you can endure in the face of challenges until He decides to bless you with yours? Many single ladies, because of your desperation to find a partner, are no longer patient. They want it now, and they are willing to do anything just to get it. Beloved, many people have lost great opportunities because of their lack of patience and endurance. They have let go of the one person that is supposed to connect them to their destiny helpers. So take a stand today and tell yourself that you are going to be more patient and endure the challenges that you are going through. For sorrow or pain and hardship last only for a while, but your joy is going to come in the morning, and just like Ruth, you would find your Boaz. Another virtue about Ruth that I also want you to look into is hard work. Ruth chapter 2 verse 2 says, "And Ruth, the Moabite, said to Naomi, 'Let me go to the field and glean among the ears of grain after him in whose sight I shall find favor.' Naomi said to her, 'Go, my daughter.'" One thing I want you to understand is that God always blesses the work of your hands. It was Ruth that said to Naomi, "Let me go to the field." She found something to do with her hands, and it was in those fields that she found her Boaz. Many single people today are just idle and expecting someone to find them. When you do not go out for the people to see you, when you do not mingle with other people, how do you want them to know about you? Find something to do. Take your mind off the desperation toward finding the right person. The issue of when and how you will meet the right person can be frustrating. So instead of worrying, which would not solve the situation, why not do something different while waiting for the right person? When you are hardworking and busy with something, God uses that as an opportunity to connect you with people. It is not the will of God for you to remain indoors doing nothing. It is time to step out of your house. It is time to get busy doing something. Because trust me, you do not want to wait to see how the devil will start using your idle state to his advantage. Another important virtue Ruth had, which you also need, is obedience. Ruth chapter 3 verses 5 to 6 says, "And Ruth said to her, 'All that you say to me I will do.' So she went down to the threshing floor, and did just as her mother-in-law had told her. In order for you to go far in life, you need to be obedient to your parents, elders around you, and most importantly, the Word of God. Ruth followed the words of her mother-in-law to the last. She did not complain, add, or reduce to it. In our today's world, how many singles ladies are ready and willing to do exactly what she did? I'm sure that if it were to be some single ladies that were told to go and meet a man and lie at his feet, they would have done more or worse than that. Boaz was even drunk, and some ladies would have used the opportunity to seduce him, but Ruth did not push further. The truth is, seducing or sleeping with a man would not make him choose you as the one. Rather, he will keep on having fun with you, and that is where it is going to stop. Why? Because you have already given him what he was supposed to be expecting after he has married you. But you have given yourself on a platter of gold to him, and after that, you lose your pride and self-respect. It is time to change that approach of seduction. It is time to start being obedient to the Word of God, which says fornication is a sin. My dear sister, a man who really loves you would not want to see your pride and your respect be thrown away. A man who is your Boaz would not touch you because he knows that your body is the temple of God and can only be touched after certain rites has been made. If you continue to read the book of Ruth, you would come to see that Boaz performed every single rite before he touched her because she was obedient enough not to do anything apart from what Naomi told her to do. Her pride and her self-respect was intact. Boaz also went further to tell his men not to tell anybody that she slept there. Beloved, if you only stick and obey the words of God, follow his instructions to the very end, then definitely the same God that made Ruth to find Boaz would help you find a man who is God-fearing and kind that will love and protect your integrity. Finally, I want to talk about favor. Without favor, you really cannot go far in life, and until God blesses you with his favor, all of your efforts will be in vain. Ruth found favor in the sight of Boaz. Ruth chapter 2 verse 13 says, "Then she said, 'Let me find favor in your sight, my Lord. For you have comforted me and have spoken to the heart of your maidservant, though I am not as one of your maidservants.'" As you continue to go on in your daily life and still trusting God for the one, I want you to keep asking God for his mercies and favor. Favor is not gotten because you merit it, but because God decides to show his mercy. When God decides to show you his favor, men who ordinarily would not look at you will begin to see your worth and value. It does not matter if you have been getting it wrong and you feel you are not worthy of his favor. Do not worry because God's mercies will change your story. Shun from all your immoral ways, trust and obey his word, and definitely God's favor will locate you, and just like Ruth, you will meet your Boaz. Forget about your age. Forget about the wasted years. God, who is the owner of time, is about to do something new in your life.